Welcome to Clear Channel 333. This is just going to be a brief message and information for you should you choose to use it. I came across a great astrologer who is very informative with day-to-day happenings. Okay, you can find her on Twitter or X, whatever you're calling it these days, but also she has a website, inspiritualservice.com. Okay, and that information is all below for you to find if you would like extra help with guidance. Okay, now what she does is she does small write-ups on daily planetary alignments and how they affect us. Okay, and found to be very helpful with the recent energy that I was just experiencing. And so what this is that you will understand the why of things. I don't necessarily prefer to understand the why. It's more of the how with me, how to get things done. But it is nice to get confirmation of what you already know. Okay, so first and foremost, you always want to use your own intuition when determining what is for you, what information you need. Okay, I just want to say with that, as with anything, too much of anything is not a good thing. Okay, so when you're coming to these collective readings or getting tarot readings, personal ones, or even following astrology, just be mindful of how much time you put into that, because you always want to use your own intuition and what you're feeling to determine how to move throughout your life. Okay, but like I said, this is a good tool, and astrology and tarot go hand in hand. But whereas I can use my clear senses to pick up on your specific happenings, I don't know where that falls into astrology. Okay, you may just be able to find out the why by using getting explanation on planetary alignments of the day, of the week, and most importantly with big life events. Okay, and so one thing that it was speaking of the energy of earlier this week, and why I didn't want to do collective readings, because I've been picking up on a lot of undecided energy, so it didn't feel right to do any readings, even though it was 11/11 and people with the twin flame predictions and yada yada yada. It just didn't sit right with me to do so. So it was in line with the information that I found on one of her write-ups, and that was the moon being in Aries, but the moon being out of bounds. And you can find out more of what that means on her website. But pretty much it's an up in the air, undecided, wishy-washy type of energy. So you may find yourself making a decision and then the next day be like, I don't really want to do that. So when that energy of the moon being out of bounds is present, you don't want to be making major life decisions. Predominantly, what I picked up on, because it's information that I picked up on as well, maybe like 3 years ago, you don't want to be planning a wedding. Like most people think, if they're having an outdoor wedding, let me check the forecast for that day. Make sure it's not raining. You want to check more than that. You want to see what the planets are doing when you make these big decisions. 10-day cruises. You want to check more than the weather. Procreating, okay? You want to know the energy that is surrounding you when you're doing these type of things. Okay, it makes a huge difference, and I like it because this information, I like it because it can be confirmation for what you already know. So like I said, using your own intuition as you move throughout your life, but these can be confirmations for what you already know. So like I said, her information is linked below. This is just a short message, reference material for you, extra guidance, because like I said, I'm not an astrologer. I can pick up on your specific situations, but when astrology comes in, you can find out, okay, why did this happen in such a way? Why did I react in such a way to a situation, or just the energy you're feeling around you? Why is this happening? One thing in particular that I found in one of her articles was speaking on Mercury being out of bounds. And I have a lot of Mercury in my chart, my natal chart, okay? I was born under the sign of Aries, but in the 8th house, okay? 8th house is death and transformation, rebirth, and things like that. And when I was born, Mercury was in retrograde, and retrograde is a tough time for me. I make sure that I'm not doing any extensive traveling. There were a few very important trips I had to take, going very long distance. I made sure that I was not traveling during retrograde, Mercury retrograde, because Mercury in retrograde interrupts travel, okay? Not only communication. So those are things like that, planetary alignments like that you want to be aware of when you're doing certain things. Like I have at least 5 planets in retrograde in my natal chart when I was born. That's why I'm kind of like, people will look at me like, oh, you don't seem like you're in Aries, because a lot of my behaviors are contradictory to what the normal person may feel a particular sign behaves. So these things are important when you want to know how to move throughout your life, that is why you make the type of decisions that you make, why you are reluctant to make decisions. So all these things come into play and can be very helpful to use both as a guide, in accordance with one another, is what I want to say. So I feel like someone is planning a wedding very soon, because that example came up from a few different avenues. So you would want to get with an astrologer and make sure that the energy of your, I would say, a week time frame is right to be coming into union with someone else. And I just want to say that 11/11, I wasn't doing anything that had to do with the twin flame thing, okay? Because a lot of people would be like, and I saw some of the readings, and predictions, union, people coming to union 11/11. And just internally, I knew that's not what it was, because something of that magnitude is not going to be predictable, is what I want to say. So I didn't feel the need to do any readings, because though the energy has been love related and people coming into union, it just wasn't the energy of the day. And planetary alignment proved to be that. So sometimes people like to create things when they feel they should. And I came across a post of this couple who were saying that their anniversary was 11/11. Okay, so they chose one of these years, whenever it was, to get married on 11/11. But the energy of 11/11 this year, pertaining to marriage and anniversary and these big things, or just the energy being undecided and up in the air, their photo that they took proved to be of that energy. It was very meh. Okay. So with that being said, be mindful of how much time and effort and energy you put into these tools when trying to navigate your life. Don't allow it to run your life. Always, always, always tap into your own intuition. We are just guides with tools to help you navigate. Your intuition is the first stop, okay? So with that being said, this is your message. I hope it was helpful. You can find all the information you may need in the description box for Tammy Cantrell's website and more information there. Thank you for receiving your message, and take care.